Hey guys, this is Dr. Anisha Galhotra and I've secured an All India rank of 352 in this year's NEET PG 2024. I'd also secured an All India rank of 109 in November INICET 2023. So in this video, I'd be sharing my last 10 days revision strategy and my exam strategy that helped me secure both of these ranks. Before starting off with the video, I'd be giving my brief introduction. I am an MBBS graduate from GMCH Chandigarh from batch 2K17. My internship got ended in June of 2023. In my internship attempt, I was basically preparing for PLAB, but as soon as my internship got ended, I had to drop the idea of PLAB and I started my NEET PG journey on 1st of July. So basically, I just had 4 months of preparation when I secured an All India rank of 109. So this is just to tell you guys that this much amount of preparation with the right mindset and in the right direction is actually more than enough to fetch you a good rank, that is 109. So let's just get started, and I'll focus more on the exam strategy, how I sat for the exam, how I deduced and came to the right answer with the little amount of knowledge that I had gained in those 4 months. So let's just get started with the video. So what you need to do in those last 10 days, now actually there are only 7 days left, but what you want to look at is just maximize your output by looking at tables, algorithms and flowcharts. Now why I want you to do this is that you need to look at little content which might fetch you multiple questions. For example, in this NEET PG only, there were 2 questions in the first set itself from lipoproteinemia table. So this is the importance of these tables and algorithms and flowcharts because they might fetch you multiple questions. Then please study 12 to 13 hours a day minimum. I usually do not recommend studying this much, but this is the last final go, and you need to push it to your maximum, and you need to look at the maximum content that you can in those last 10 days. Now, I would really recommend you to just eyeball and not actively recall, because ultimately you just need to cover the maximum content that cannot be done through active recalling everything. You need to just eyeball things because it is already at the back of your mind. You just need to polish it before the exam. Please do not attempt any new questions or GTs. You can just visit bookmark PYQs, and that too because INICET loves asking PYQs. So only that thing you can do. I really don't recommend you doing anything new because this will ultimately bring your morale and confidence down, and that is not what we want in the last 10 days, and it will never stick. I feel that whatever you learn new in the last 10 days, it is under such anxiety and such pressure that it does not stick in the exam. Take screenshots for things like IPC, BNS and milestones, because you need to, no matter how strong you feel in these things, you need to look at them 1 to 2 days before the exam. But do not write them in your notebook. It will consume a lot of your time. Just take screenshots that you can visit a night before the exam. Then please do not do any new content, just like GTs and MCQs that I just discussed. It will not stick. It will just bring in that anxiety. Then please do not leave an entire subject. I have seen people do that, that they leave a very less yield important subject. Please don't do that, because what will happen is that will bring in underconfidence. So what in the exam you will feel that okay, your mind will play games with you that we did not study in the last 10 days, ergo we don't know the answer. This will hold you back from attempting that question. You don't need to do that. Just skim through the pages, whatever you've highlighted in your BTR, in your rapid revision notes, whatever, just go through it. Just rush through things, but you can't skip an entire subject. That is non-negotiable. Then please minimize contact and social media updates. Last year, I remember, because of the fuss of the paper getting leaked and postponed, it used to bring a lot of anxiety in me, and there were questions which were getting circulated. Nothing of this sort actually happens in INICET, I really feel, and this will never help you. This will just kick in that anxiety. So please minimize your social media as much as possible. Then what happens is that towards the end your mind will start playing games with you. Don't complicate things. Take everything, every question, every content, every line by its virtue. Do not dig deeper into the topics. You already know what is happening, and ultimately there are certain facts also that you need to memorize. There is no other way around. So just don't complicate things, and let your mind remember whatever it can, and just calm down a little bit. Everything is going to be okay. So yeah, let's just jump onto the exam strategy. That I feel that my exam strategy was something that played a pivotal role in my rank, because I had just prepared for 4 months, which I feel is too less, but then I was able to rule out questions and I was able to come to the right answer by deduction technique. I'll share what I did in my exam, which really helped me. So first of all, attempt every question as if you have just one chance of reading it. Do not skim through questions. Don't venture out and see like if the exam is tough or easy. Don't try those things. Just attempt every question. Start reading that question from first word like you just have this one chance of reading it, and give it your best shot in that first go, because that is ultimately the maximum time you will consume in understanding the question. You won't be able to revisit the question. The time constraint is too much in INICET. Then in a bigger STEM, just first of all look at the last line. This everybody tells you, every teacher must have told you, definitely, and this actually helps a lot. Look at the last line, then look at the image, and then jump onto the options just to analyze what the question is all about. Is it a drug? Is it a investigation? Is it a next step? You just need to get wrap your head around what is being asked in the question, right? Then check time at regular intervals, but not very frequently. Please devise an exam strategy before your exam, that okay, you'll check maybe after 25 questions or maybe 10 questions. Don't keep on checking the timer again and again. It will just bring in anxiety. But then please make sure that you don't leave any question. That is the biggest crime that can happen. You don't want to sit in the exam and leave a question and not visit a question. That is ultimately the biggest blunder that is going to happen, because what happens is towards the end there might be some easy question which you just miss. So please don't commit that crime. And yeah, so this is one question that most of the people have been asking me, that how many questions to attempt. See, I feel that 185 plus is the bare minimum that you need to attempt, because INICET is a very competitive exam. The questions, the seats are really less, so you need to clear that bar at least of top 1000 to get any seat in any of the aims. So for that, it's actually like a all or none principle. So I feel that you need to attempt at least 185 to at least clear the bar. Otherwise, a 5k rank is as good as a 20k rank, because that will not fetch you a very great seat in any of the aims, right? So you just need it. You can't be defensive now. You have to be on the attacking side and attempt more than 185 plus. Then please look out for the clinchers in the exam. This is what helped me. For example, this is just an example. I have never seen this question, but I feel that Kawasaki and scarlet fever, these are two things which used to confuse me a lot. These are very close DDs of each other, and both of them happen in a child. So just look out for things like purulent conjunctivitis. We know for a fact that non-purulent conjunctivitis is a feature of Kawasaki, right? So if they have specifically mentioned purulent, it cannot be Kawasaki, right? Whatever they might be giving you, strawberry tongue, lymphadenopathy, these are present in both of the cases. You have to look out for the things, for the clinches, for the criteria of a disease. You have to look out for these things, because this will ultimately help you come to the right answer. Then in case of a time constraint, now what I feel is there will be questions that you will mark for review. In INICET, these questions are not considered for evaluation. This is my own personal strategy. Please feel free to follow whatever you want. I feel you should go back and just change these questions to marked, so that they get considered in the evaluation. Because see, for attempting 185 plus, you can't leave more than 3 to 4 questions in each block. So you can't take that risk. You have to attempt that question, and whatever your previous frame of mind had suggested you to mark, just confirm that as a question and just move on. That is the best I think you can do. You can't leave these questions. You can just leave the questions which you are clueless about. That is how INICET tests you. Also, I want to share one more thing. In my last year's November INICET attempt, I had gotten 146 questions correct out of 197 that I had attempted. So you can just imagine the toughness of the exam and the competition that is happening. You have to understand the fact that INICET loves giving you a difficult paper. It is not just like NEET. Ultimately, this year's NEET was also at INICET level. But then just to tell you guys that 190 out of 197, getting 146 correct fetched me such a great rank. So just go with full attacker mode and attempt how many questions you can, the maximum number of questions you can. Just you have to attempt those many, right? Then another point is mark common answers. Now, what I mean by this is, in this year's May INICET, what happened was there was a cross-sectional CT in which I could not actually deduce anything. But then I had listened to this thing of ARSA, aberrant renal subclavian artery. Zena ma'am used to teach that a lot, and many radiology faculty used to teach this a lot. And the other options in the exam were duplicated esophagus and so on or so forth. These are really unheard of. Nobody teaches you these things. So just look out for the things which are really common, which are hot topics, which everyone is teaching, which you have heard, and just mark these things. Because you know what, this kind of an exam is set by clinicians only, and they'll put questions and options whatever is clinically relevant. Other than that, it really does not matter. So that is why I just want you to guys attempt the more commoner thing and whatever you've heard and whatever is the hot topic that is going on. So moving on, now I'd be discussing 7 scenarios which I feel everyone faces and which I faced in both of my exams, both of my attempts, and how I tried to come to the right answer and which questions I left. First of all, now these scenarios are from my November INICET attempt only. Right? So first question was, there was a question of ITP and a tyrosine kinase inhibitor was asked. I did not know the drug at all, I'll be very honest. But then I also knew that these 2 drugs, L-trombopag and romiplostin, were TPA agonist. This was for sure that this is not the answer. I was 100% sure that this can't be the answer. I was left with these 2 options now. Now what I did was, I remembered the fact that a tyrosine kinase inhibitor I knew was imatinib. That is given in CML. So from this suffix of inib, I marked the answer of fostamatinib, because in this there is no matinib and in this there is. So this was like a hunch, or maybe I had to. First of all, I just want to reiterate this thing: whenever you are down to 2 options, you have to attempt that question. It really significantly increases your probability of getting the question correct. You have to attempt the question. So but then out of the 2 options, just make an educated guess, just like I did in this STEM. Then moving on, this was the second scenario, false regarding anatomy of adrenal gland. Now coming to this question, okay, the first option was right adrenal is semilunar in shape. I kept it on hold. Okay, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. Let's see. Left adrenal is related to tail of pancreas and spleen. This everybody knows. This is a known fact. This is, you can even imagine this can be true. So this can't be the answer, right? Then adrenals are yellow in gross appearance. Let's keep it on hold. This might be right. Adrenals are retroperitoneal location. This is also a right option. Hence, it cannot be the answer, right? So now from A and C, I was 100% sure that I have to mark this answer. So basically, what I want you to know is that right adrenal is semilunar in shape. This is a very, very specific statement. There can be so many glitches in this stem that, okay, maybe it was about left, or maybe the shape is maybe lunar or some other kind of shape. So this is a very specific line which can have some errors. So and plus adrenals are yellow in shape. Now I used to remember that when I used to visit Atlas in my first prof, I used to draw adrenals with a yellow color. So this seems like a better option, the right answer, the right statement, hence not the right answer. So I marked answer A, and it was the right answer. It was the wrong, basically it was the wrong option and the right answer, because left adrenal was apparently semilunar in shape. So just look out for very, very specific things. There can be error in a specific thing, in a specific statement. Moving on to scenario number 3, which of the following is not involved in DNA repair double? Now see, I'll be very honest, in those 4 months of preparation, I was not very confident with the answer, because I did not know so much about ATM. Only later on I realized that this was a very important concept. But then people also didn't know about KU70. So in this question, I just knew one thing for sure, that MSH2 has mismatch repair mechanism. This was something I was 100% sure. I did not remember what BRCA1 or ATM did. ATM also was maybe double stranded only, but MSH2 I was 100% sure that this has mismatch repair mechanism. I marked this and it was the right answer. So I just want you to know, with limited amount of content, with limited amount of knowledge, you can reach to the right answer. You just need to be confident with whatever you have read. So I made sure that even if I am if I have some paucity of knowledge, I've just studied for 4 months, I will make the best use of it, and that is what I did. I knew that MSH2 cannot be double stranded repair, and I marked it, and it was the right answer. Right? Coming on to scenario number 4. This question I've just put so that you understand that you don't rush in the exam in marking the answer. See, Zena ma'am had multiple times, I think 100 times told this, that parathyroid adenoma ka answer is always technetium 99 system AB scan. So most of my peers rushed and marked this answer, but this was not the right answer, guys. First of all, the answer had to be between, the answer could not be USG, neck and MRI, that was for sure. Then technetium 99 and SPECT system AB, both of them have system AB. Now I in the exam just looked at the question, looked at all the options, and then I thought to myself that technetium 99 is a nuclear scan, and then we have CT. CT is a far better modality than any nuclear scan. This is something I gathered from reading whatever I had read in those 4 months, from listening to Zainab ma'am. So I did not rush it, I marked CT, and this was indeed the right answer. This is just to tell you that there is no point in fighting after the exam for the right answer. There is a better option. No doubt technetium 99 will detect parathyroid adenoma, but CT is a better option. If given a better option, just mark that. Please don't rush in certain questions. Then scenario number 5, classification of bile duct injury. Now, you know what? In this question, everybody knew Strasberg and Bismuth. First of all, with this scenario, I just want you to know that, guys, if both Strasberg and Bismuth is given, that means it cannot be the answer. You can't differentiate in those two. This is what I knew, right? So if there are two options which are contradictory, which actually mean the same to you, that means the question is asking you a different scenario. You have to understand that this cannot be the answer. It had to be between Hanover and McMahon, because vascular and location both were getting considered in this question, right? So similarly, I had 50%, I had ruled out 2 options and I was left with 2 options. I had no clue which to mark. These were, I had never heard of these, but I was 100% sure that I'm going to mark this option, and I just went with my hunch. I marked McMahon, I think, but the answer was Hanover. So I got the question wrong, but it was worth it, and this is what you should do. Even if very close DDs, you can't make out which to pick, just pick anyone. Do whatever tricks you can, maybe mark C or whatever tricks you can. Whatever is lucky for you, just do whatever you want. But then if you have come down to 2 options, you have to mark that, you have to consider that question, you have to mark it. You can't leave that question for sure. And also the takeaway point from such a question is that whenever 2 options seem contradictory to each other, that means both can be the answer. It means there is some other glitch, there is some other clincher in the question. For this question, it was both vascular and location, right? Coming on to scenario number 6. Now this question I've put just to tell you guys that there will be questions which you have to leave. This is one of those questions. If you don't know the exact formula, I did not know the exact formula for that, you have to leave such a question. This looked gibberish to me. I could not just take a guess in this. I did not know the formula. So for formula based questions, INICET loves asking formula based questions which are out of the blue. So please don't mark those questions if you are not very confident that this is the formula and this is the right answer. You have to leave such questions. This will your rank will suffer if you mark these questions. Then last scenario is 13-year-old female brought by mother to emergency with abdominal pain. This question I have put just to tell you that INICET loves asking very basic IQ based questions. In this question, you don't need to know any medical knowledge, you just need to know your basic IQ and basic next step, what anyone in this world would have done. So she was 8 weeks pregnant, immediate next step. Now let's just visit, plan, MTP and preserve. These can't be the answers, guys, because there are other things which need to be done just before planning MTP or preserving clothing. File MLC and inform the police. Obtain consent from mother for genital examination. Now see, the thing is that this was taught to us that you have to first of all inform the police. So this was an obvious answer. This was an easy question, but this is just to tell you that first of all this needs to be done. You need to file MLC. You can't just take consent from mother for genital examination at the very first step. This was just to tell you that there will be very easy questions. In May INI also there was this one question of Chuna. It seemed there was a long stem and it seemed tricky in the first glance, but it was not. Just don't run from these questions. Try to come to the right answer somehow. Try to use your common sense, your knowledge, your IQ, whatever you've learned, whatever you've heard in your internship, any diagnosed case of a family member, anything that you've ever come across, just try to find an answer from that. This is how INICET works. Such questions no one has ever visited. Even the topper has to apply his basic knowledge to get these questions right. So don't be afraid of such questions. this is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to tell you how I ruled out my options, how I came to the right answer in my exam, and this tremendously helped me. Just don't feel scared. It will be a difficult exam for each one of you. No one will know the answer to 50 questions maybe. So this is everyone teaches you this. 100 questions will be such that everyone will know. Please don't get any question wrong from those questions, basic cystic fibrosis questions, MI questions, because everyone will know that. You will lose a rank if you get these questions wrong. Then there will be 50 questions maximum in INICET, which I believe that you would be able to pull off with your deduction, art of deduction. There will be 50 questions which will be difficult, which will be really difficult. If you can attempt 10 out of these 50, then you get these 50 questions right as well, you get a score of 160, which will get you a top 100 rank, which is what I feel and which is what everyone says and which is what the trend is. So first of all, get these 100 correct. Next 50, just try to learn from what I did and what other people have taught. You have to be wise enough to come to the right answer, how to deduce it, and please don't run away from these things. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows them. Don't get scared. Even AR1 does not know them. You have to deduce it with whatever knowledge you have. Then out of these 50 questions, which are tough, you will take guesses, and 10 of these guesses, if they get correct on your lucky day, you will get a very good rank in the exam. Even if you don't get correct, on a very, very bad day, you will get 150 correct. Still, you will have a very, very decent rank. Trust me on this. INICET has this pattern only. So guys, this is it for my video. Hope you like it, and please feel free to comment anything you want or any further videos you want from me. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe.